way we offer an education in Holland has to be modified a little bit, because we're looking at anywhere from $1 million to a $2 million deficit this year, and in the out years it could be more than that. And I know a lot of people, quite frankly, there's no one who's given me any really concrete ideas to generate 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, $3.5 million in savings. Because if we can't do that, then folks, the option has to be, where do we get the money? And if we don't have the money to do this, and the taxpayers aren't willing to go to an absorbent tax levy, if, maybe that's not the best word, go to a different tax levy, then the bottom line falls. We have to get our budget in balance, and without some type of reconfiguration, I could be looking at, just in that structure alone, with the efficiencies, anywhere from $300,000 to $1 million in savings. And if that doesn't occur, then, folks, I don't know what I'm going to do. I absolutely don't know what I'm going to do. Because to generate that amount of money on a tax levy alone, it's north of 30%. If that's the only leg of the stool, and I've shared with everyone, this is a multi-legged stool. It's some of this, some of this, some of this, some of this. And I know these are very, very difficult decisions. So I hope that the Facilities Committee will, again, review this information, and have discussions, because, when we build this budget, because the budget calendar will probably be provided to the board and hopefully adopted by the board on October 24th, and now that clock starts ticking because of new regulations for the tax cap and things like that, that I can't be developing a budget in the middle of December and January, February, not having direction on what some of these staffing efficiencies could be. So we had the focus group last night. They'll present to the board on the 27th what some of their considerations, options, strategies, thoughts would be to try to get the district back in financial balance. Without some facilities adjustment, the district will not be able to recoup the efficiencies and some of the other staffing things we're looking at. And I quite frankly think, some of these, I respect the estimates of Gordon Jones, but I think some of these estimates, I do know that last year when we went out, I think the estimate was like $3.2 million for the construction project, and God, it came in at 2.6, so we were very, very fortunate there. So, I'm kind of hoping that this is kind of on the high side. So this could come in at $300,000. Could come in at $700,000 too.
These are our estimates, and
yes.
What's the...
With the big time. Yeah. So we were very fortunate in the last project. But I think there are some things here we would not have to do. Some of them we can do in-house, and some of them we just, when money's the issue, there's things you'd like to do, but you can't do.
I'm a little bit troubled by discussing doing some of these things in-house. These are pretty significant.
Well, there are some things we can do. There are some things. For example, we took a classroom down there. We passed it by SED. They really said we didn't need their approval, so we turned the classroom, I think it was the technology lab, office. We created kitchen, bathroom, stove.
I think there's some things that...
the specs of that, like if the plumbing was done properly, the electrical was done properly, and if you don't get a building permit.
No, we passed that by SED. Carl, I think it was Carl Thurno, and he said, no, you don't have to do it. We just passed the information by, because we have the services underneath, and we did it ourselves. And a lot of districts do that. But again, to renovate, a huge building, no, we wouldn't be able to do all of this. But there are some certain areas in here that we could do. For example, knock down the walls in the business office. We could do that ourselves.
Painting, you could do painting.
Yeah, we could do painting. We could do
ceiling down.
Certain electrical systems.
I think there's like mechanical systems and electrical systems and plumbing systems. I think you want to.
We don't need an incident. I think the finger pointed that we didn't have proper oversight.
And something like that, one of the thoughts I was thinking about, that possibly if we had to do this in-house, we could hire a couple extra maintenance people over the summer. And with our current staff, our current staff couldn't do that and also do the things they have to do on a regular basis. So you could hire some people, additional laborers or maintenance mechanics over the summer for 2 or 3 months, with the appropriate skills and qualifications, to do some of this work. Some of this work can be done, some of it can't.
I may have missed something, but I don't see a breakdown in the cost savings. Was that handed out and I didn't get it?
I haven't handed that out.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but again, I mean, the numbers that I have here, looking at the, it's very sensitive because with every position here, there's a name attached to it. So we're looking at approximately around $300,000 in, it basically support staff and the administrator. I think we all know that. It's one of the buildings. And then, speaking with Mark from Buffalo Engineering, he advised me to use 50% of the gas, electric, water, sewage, telephone, maintenance, materials and supplies, and at the high school and at the elementary based on square footage, because everything was broken out square footage. We are expending around $122,000, so I took 60% of that. At the middle schools, around $200,000.
Are you gonna copy that without names?
If I can do that. So again, using those two numbers at the 312 and the 60,000 at the elementary school, that's around 375. If the middle school was shuttered down, the 312 plus the 97,100, so it's about around $400,000. Now, if you do go to 1 or 2 classrooms in one of the buildings, you're going to have some maintenance support. You're going to have some custodial support. But again, if it was at that building there, we have had custodians here, we have custodians here, so you could have a cleaner traveling back and forth at certain times of the day to do the things that need to be done. It's not that you're driving 3 miles. As far as the secretarial support, the plan here is to have other senior clerk typists or clerk typists fulfill that responsibility in that building for a small population. As far as the nurse, the district has 3 nurses. If you were to go to 2 buildings, there could be consideration of having a nurse here and there. There is a regulation with SED that districts do not have to have a nurse in buildings. But if you're going to have a nurse, they have to be a registered nurse. And from my understanding years ago, I think this district had one registered nurse, and some districts do that. And they travel around from building to building. I'm not saying that's the best option, but that's something that could be.
We've got a lot of kids on medication. A lot of kids, much more than in the past. And I went over to the elementary school, and the nurse had all these medications lined up. First day of school for a lot of kids. I mean, that's a huge responsibility.
2 weeks to get it all together.
Pardon?
2 weeks to get it all together and collect it from parents.
Yeah.
But again,
That's huge.
and that component in here is approximately around $40,000. Salary, benefits, ERS, healthcare, the whole, that's what that. So again, if the board's desire is, all right, we're going to go to 2.1 building, and we're going to retain 3 nurses, and the district does not realize a savings of $40,000, then the question goes, where am I going to find the savings for the district to get the budget in balance?
I don't know if you can have BOCES classes in a building that doesn't have a nurse in it.
I believe you're right with that, and they pay attention. If you don't have a student, for the having a nurse in there, it really doesn't cover the cost. So again, what I'm trying to share with everyone that the district is in a very, very tough spot. If there's an official superintendent, I'm in a very, very tough spot. I want the best for kids, but again, I'm looking at the bottom line. You get everything in balance. The way we offer an education in Holland is going to be different.